Why would you spend $10 million on a beach house when you could buy this? I mean, it has many of the same features, the waterside terrace, the shady veranda, the open plan kitchen. But with this, if you don't like the neighbours or your view, you can just move. And how many beach houses do you know that can do nearly 30 knots? This is the Palm Beach 85, the new flagship of the range. It is designed to be owner run. It might in fact be the ultimate owner run passage maker, and its cruising performance, well, it blows its rivals out of the water, as I shall now explain in this full tour. I'm Jack Haines, you're watching YachtBuyer. If you've not done so already, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit subscribe and that bell icon, and you'll never miss one of our videos. And what's fun about this boat is it's deceptive. Because it's a coupe design, it's really hard to appreciate just how big it is. It's 27.5 meters long and 6.7 meters wide, but it disguises that size really well. And right back here you have a lovely long bathing platform. The whole thing doesn't drop down, but this central section will go up and out towards the quayside, so you can use it as a passerelle, and it also drops down into the water. Now you can launch toys of this, but you'll probably have spotted as well the tender actually sits on the roof, and we'll come on to the mechanics of that later on in the video. What else do we have down here? Well, this is a transom hatch that runs down into a Lazarette, a spectacular Lazarette, if Lazarettes can be spectacular. Well, this one is. We'll see that later on. There's also a grill down here. So you can pull this out, and there's a magma grill mounted in there. So you can cook away back here and then just slide it away when you're done. Over on this side, you've got a shower down here, so you can hose off after a swim. You've also got all your wash down as well, so you can hose the boat down really well and easily from on board the boat. And again, it's all very neatly tidy away inside these lockers. Cleats down here on the bathing platform, and also some lovely mooring gear up here on the top sides too. And there's more to enjoy in the cockpit. It's a very practical machine, this. There are little storage cubbies all over the place. Nice long ones underneath the seat here. You've got these really useful deck hatches as well, held open on a gas ram. You can put your lines in there. They've got the hose in there. You have those on both sides. Just very useful little cubbies to have when you're handling the equipment, when you're mooring the boat. Now, this is a very important space because there is no living space up there, so this is your main external living area, and it is huge. Look at all the floor space between the table and the fridges over there. And as I said in the intro, this is your shady veranda. You've got this lovely long overhang, so it's really well protected if you're eating here. There's another shade that drops down, both for shade and for privacy if you're, say, moored stern to. And look at that table, absolutely gorgeous. You can take out this central bit so you can walk between the two to make it a bit easier to get in and out. And it's on an adjustable pedestal as well, so it will drop down to create a sunpad back here. But the important thing is really comfortable exterior dining space with lovely high backrests. That's a really comfortable place to sit. And I like this area as well. A little bit smaller, a little bit more intimate, and I can immediately feel the protection from these screens back here, especially when you're moving along. If you want to be outside but protected by the wheelhouse when you're charging like 25 knots, this is the place to be. It's absolutely lovely. There are some facilities out here as well. There's a couple of nice big fridge drawers. So you've got cold drinks out here, and this is an interesting little area. So you lift that up, got this split door, and that is access to another cabin, the crew space, the engine room, and the Lazarette. It's wonderful down there. I'm going to go there at the end. Before that, let's head to the front. It's a really safe, easy boat to move around. Lovely wide side decks. You feel nice and protected as well. This is all very high, though there are a couple of steps on this side deck. In fact, this one aligns with a boarding gate, so you just pop this open. You can step off side too if you need to. That is very neatly integrated. A couple of handholds down here as well. This isn't wood, but it certainly looks like wood. And you'll be thankful for that if you are running it as an owner. Much easier to look after than if that were varnished timber, and no teak on the side decks either. But again, this is so much more practical. It stays cool, it's really grippy, easy to clean and look after as well. Now it is very bright up here. There's lots of white going on, and the ratio of coach roof to sunpad isn't great. That's pretty small for a boat of this size. However, it has got pop-up backrest, so you can get a bit more comfortable if you're lying down there. And of course, we've got all of these skylights, they're dispersing natural light down into the cabins below. One area I really like up here though is this well that they've integrated right forward. This is like dropping into the back of a Reaver Aquarama. I absolutely love it. What a place to sit when you're moving along at, you know, maybe 10 knots. You probably don't want to be here at 25 knots unless it's really calm, but right at the front of the boat you'll hear the waves peeling off the hull. I absolutely love it. What a great place to sit back with a drink and take in the world when you're going into somewhere new. Practical as well, of course. Great access to the windlass, nice big cleats up there, and you can actually get into the chain locker. Nice double door. You've got wash down up here as well, stowage for the winch handles. It's all really well thought through. Then beneath that, through a T-catch, there's a really deep locker, big enough for a couple of fenders you can actually climb down into as well. Now, before we head inside, let's head up top and talk about the tender. This is possibly where the whole owner-run idea falls down a little bit, especially if you're more immobile, because there's no two ways about it. Getting up to the tender deck is a little precarious. You've got those little steps, there's no protection up here, and you're sort of navigating down this area to get back to where your tender is. And of course, this is much more of a hassle than if it was just sitting on the bathing platform like it is on so many boats of this size. You just drop it down into the water off the back of the boat. But of course, the extension of the hull underneath the bathing platform is so important to the way this boat goes through the water, so that is a compromise they've had to make. You still get a decent sized Williams, it just means you're going to be up here handling the crane. It is stabilised, you've got fin stabilisers, so it shouldn't be rolling around too much, but even so, it's just a bit more tricky than it would be with a traditional setup. One thing that is quite clever, they've got a camera mounted up here, so from the helm and all the screens on board, you can make sure that the tender is still where it's supposed to be. Let's head inside. Stepping inside, it is the usual oasis of Palm Beach timber, just on a much bigger scale than anything we've seen before, and it is absolutely lovely. And there's flexibility within this layout as well. You could have the galley aft if you wanted, but I think the way this boat is done works particularly well. So you have your seating area right aft, big comfortable sofa on the starboard side, little drinks table down here on the port side. Behind that is where you find the TV. Obviously that's very well positioned because people are going to be sitting on this big old sofa and watching the telly. Nice to see these. You see these on Grand Banks and Palm Beach. On a boat this wide, these are even more important. You've got a lot of floor space to wander around in, so if you're moving around at sea, you can just grab that. You know it's always there, and there's one forward as well. Big table on the starboard side. I really like that because it's on the right side to face the TV, so you can eat and watch TV if you want to. And there's a nice mix of the matte wood here in the cabinetry, but the tables are back to gloss. Makes it a real centerpiece. It again is absolutely beautiful, and space all the way around this side to put some more chairs in if more people do want to dine inside. And this feels very domestic. The island setup, very open plan, sociable. It feels like a sort of family kitchen. It's lovely, and the nice mix of the wood below and the dark tops I think works brilliantly, and it's very well packaged too. You've got all your storage down here for your plates and your glasses and your crockery. Everything's held in place. Nice big hob here with the oven underneath, and of course things like the dishwasher, big bin, all the sort of stuff you're going to be relying on when you're living on board. Cooling space crucial too. Pretty obvious large fridge here, but that's supplemented by two more cooling drawers on this side, and really useful things like these pantries. And look how this all actions. It's lovely. Soft close mechanisms, click shut so that can't open when the boat's at sea. And another nice feature, okay, we've not got a flybridge, but we've got two sunroofs. So if you're cooking, okay, you've not got ventilation over there, but you can open the roof and let the steam go out through the actual top of the boat, and they're separate. You can open that one, close this one, and vice versa. Gives you loads of flexibility. Should we talk about the helm? Just one helm, and it's a good one. I love the fact that you can sit back in this super comfortable chair. You're right on the centerline, and with this IPS version, even at speed now, you can control the direction of the boat with just the twist of a joystick. What a great position that is. Sitting back, wonderful view forward, you can see your screens really easily, and you are in total control. And talking the screens, obviously you can have your charting and sonar and stuff, but nice to have the camera feed as well, a really clear camera feed. There are two separate engine rooms, I can see those. You have a look out the back of the boat, up on top, as I said before. So yeah, you've got really good overview from this position. Now let's talk about performance, because the headline performance of say 27 knots may not seem all that impressive. The Princess S80 will do nearly 40 knots, but it's the cruising potential. You can have it with this IPS 1350, 1000 horsepower per side, or twin 1300 horsepower MANs on shafts. Either way, you're looking at about 27 knots flat out. But at 21 knots with this version, you will do 700 nautical miles at 21 knots with a 10,000 litre fuel capacity. That is extraordinary. Nothing can hold a candle to this when it comes to fast cruising. And of course, if you drop it down with that fuel capacity and the stabilisers, you can cruise at 10 knots. That range goes through the roof, but you really can travel long distances at speed in total comfort on board this thing. And if you do want to compare it to its rivals, like boats such as the Princess S80, you can do that on yachtbuyer.com. Head over there, you can use our industry-leading head-to-head tool to look at the boats side by side and see which one you like best. Okay, let's talk manoeuvring, because of course you can do it from here. You've got the joystick, you've got the cameras, but you've got sort of wing stations on both sides, because you've got side doors on both sides, which again is great for the flow of the boat and ventilation. But you can see here, I've got my joystick, start stop button for the engines, and you've also got a bow thruster right here, so you can pop open the door and you can stick your head down the side deck and you can maneuver from here on both sides. So no matter which side you're berthing, you've got really good control and good overview of what the boat's doing. Very clever. Let's head downstairs and have a look at the accommodation. Down that run of steps we actually come to a mid deck. So right forward you have the VIP ensuite. There's a twin with a bathroom on the starboard side. This is where you find the day head as well, which is quite nice considering every cabin has got its own bathroom. And beneath these doors you find the switchboard, neatly arranged, really clearly labelled, digital switching as well, and quite close to the helm. It's not taking up space there by the helm, but it's nice and close to it. And a moment please for the woodwork here. Look at the craftsmanship on this banister. It is absolutely beautiful, and that leads down to the owner's cabin. We're going to go there in a moment. More practical stuff. This hatch here, we have access to an excellent technical space, totally separate from the engine room of course. There's a nice ladder down into it. You have the water purifier, all the batteries are down there, and then right forward, really good rack storage. Again, it's that living on board. You need loads of space to store stuff, and that is really easy to get to amongst the cabins as well, so you can get down there very easily. And look how hefty that is. Lovely. So moving forward, we'll look at the twin first. This is very typical Palm Beach and also Grand Banks. They're all part of the same company, but the woodwork is beautiful. These lovely rounded edges, very practical. Storage all over the place. Two singles here, of course, with storage underneath them. Above the beds, these sort of really stylish oval shaped portholes. They don't open. They're quite steep, but they do bring in quite a nice amount of natural light. And we saw these up on the foredeck, didn't we? You can see the effect, drawing in loads of natural light. So it's nice and bright down there. You can open those, of course, and there's shades too. TV mounted up on the wall. And as I said, private bathrooms, big enough to have a separate shower cubicle. Now opposite this is where you find the washer dryers. So you have them stacked here. Again, between the cabins, really useful. There's even more aft, so you've got plenty of spaces where you can do laundry if, again, you're on board for a long time. Right forward, the VIP. Lovely amount of floor space in here. It's got a big bed, but still a really good amount of room so you can get changed. Get to your storage really easy. It's mirrored on both sides, quite literally, but there's wardrobes on either side, plus drawers or vanity areas, and wherever they can fit storage, they have. These lockers here, these nice cubbies on either side of the bed as well, so you can put your devices in there easily. And look at the size of this hatch. Head height's excellent. We've also got a lovely big hatch here again, putting loads of natural light down here because the portholes, they're not huge, so this really helps out. And this has got another nice, totally private and very spacious bathroom. I like even the Techmile loo has got a wooden top on it, and you can see a lovely big separate shower cubicle. And these are even more important in here because you can open them and let the steam out. Let's head amidships and look at the owner's cabin. On the smaller Palm Beaches, because of where they put the engines to make the weight balance good as possible, you often don't get full beam owner's cabins, but here you do, and what a space it is. It is gorgeous, all decked out again in this beautiful wood. It's quiet, it's calm, it feels really high quality. Not only the woodwork, but even just the carpet, the sponginess of it. It's lovely. Headroom is great. Massive bed in the middle with nice high bedside tables on both sides. Really comfortable sofa down here as well. Often these just don't really look like they're designed to be sat on, but I just want to sit here, pop the TV in the peace and quiet and enjoy my lovely cabin. Of course, storage is excellent. There's a huge cupboard behind the door when you come in, and on top of that, we have a proper walk-in wardrobe. This is a great space. Shelving here, hanging up there, more hanging. Got a safe down here, even part-time gym as well, a proper multi-use space. So look at the bathroom. Access to the bathroom is over on this side, but before we get there, it's really handy to have this screen up here. Of course, great that you can see the chart. If you're on anchor, you have your anchor alarm here, you can make sure the boat's where it's supposed to be, but you also, crucially, have access to all the cameras here. So there's a whole suite all over the boat. We've seen some of them through the tour, so I can check the Lazarette. I can also go up to the mast to make sure, as I said, the tender is still in place or the cover's not blown off, and you can even look in 2 of the separate engine rooms and make sure that everything is as it should be. Even more storage behind me here, loads of drawers all lined up along this side, and then on top of that they've even squeezed some more storage in these little hatches here, one on either side. You know, you really do find these places very valuable when you're living on board for long periods of time. Let's look at the bathroom. I really like the finish in here. It's like upstairs, you've got the mix of the traditional teak with the black on top. It makes it a little bit more contemporary. Of course, storage is excellent both underneath the counter and above in these vanity units, and there's space not only to have twin sinks, but lots of spots to have your toiletries. And on that note, a lip here wouldn't be a bad idea. People are naturally going to leave things here, so it'd be good to have a lip so they can't slide off when the boat's moving along. Shower cubicle is enormous. Bit of a shame there's no window in here, but there's a reason for that. I'll tell you in a moment. You've got extraction from a fan, of course, and a rain shower head. Always nice to have the old heated towel rail as well. And the reason there's no window in this bit is because the toilet has its own separate section over there, and that's where the window is. Right, let's head aft and have a look at that back cabin. Now that staircase is the one I showed you earlier in the cockpit. You come down here and this is where things get really nerdy. But before that, there's another really nice cabin. Now, a few uses, I've been wanging on about this being own and run, but there will be occasions, I'm sure, where people want a captain or a deckhand on board maybe. Well, they could sleep here in what is a really lovely cabin, or it works brilliantly as an overflow guest cabin because it's a double. It's got lots of storage. It's all finished in the same way as the cabins forward. For the size of that wardrobe, it's absolutely huge. Private bathroom as well, which is big enough to have a separate shower cubicle, but there's another proper dedicated crew space just over here. And this is absolutely lovely. If you have got crew on board, they have their own cabin there. That's a single berth, but again, it's got another private bathroom. Decent little galley here where you've got cooling space, microwave, storage above, and a sink, all really nicely finished in exactly the same way as up there in the saloon. Even more laundry facilities, so you've got another washer, another dryer. Again, that redundancy is helpful and gives you the capacity to wash sheets, clothes, because you've got 2 more forward as well, so plenty of laundry capacity. Little seat down there. Okay, you're relying very much on artificial light, but it doesn't feel cramped. It feels really rather nice, and there's another screen behind the door as well. So again, oversight from down here is great, and crucially, it goes through to the Lazarette, and well, what a Lazarette it is. I mean, just look at this place. There are laboratories that are messier and less tidy than this. It's insane that you can stand in a Lazarette like this and have carpet underneath your feet, and there's loads of storage here, but it's all, again, very nicely hidden away. These all lift up, hold themselves open. Got all the tools down here, fender sock covers, more covers down there, lines. It's just really easy to use these spaces. And how about this? So the engine rooms at either side, you have an engine room per engine, but from here you can do a little quick inspection, if I find the right handle. So you can just lift that up, have a peek inside, make sure everything's okay, and then you can just push this away, unlock it, exactly the same on the other side, and then you have proper access doors on either side so you can get into the engine rooms properly. We'll look at the port side one because it's slightly quieter, but they are pretty much identical. In we go. And then you're dodging the little teak laid sections, which is, you know, we're quite familiar now with that on board Grand Banks and Palm Beaches to have teak in here. But what a space this is. The engine in splendid isolation, of course, because its partner is over there in its own space. Everything is so clean and tidy. All the cable runs, the plumbing, you could spot issues immediately. You'd know if there was a hair out of place. Twin generators, one this side, one the other side. The fuel filters are really easy to get to. Clear bowls as well, so you can check the fuel, switch between them very comfortably. Very well lit as well. It just doesn't get better. Okay, headroom is a little bit compromised, but it's so easy to move down this space. And if you're going to be working around the pod and around the engine, you're probably going to be sitting on one of the stringers anyway. It really is absolutely top drawer, and you have exactly the same over on the other side. And then the other thing to mention, because I pointed this out at the start of the tour, so you come out here, back to the Lazarette, that is that central transom hatch. So you can get down straight from the bathing platform to the engine room spaces, and of course the crew can get out onto deck without having to go into the cockpit. Bloody brilliant. In chasing performance and efficiency, there are compromises. This doesn't have sliding, swiveling, folding things in the cockpit. It doesn't even have any hull windows, but what this does have is timeless charm and elegance. Palm Beach has been producing boats for 30 years, and in another 30 years time this thing is going to look just as good as it does today. And of course what it really excels in is that fast cruising performance. If you want a boat that you can manage yourself, as long as you're a competent enough captain, take long distances fast, there really is nothing that can touch it. Let me know what you think of it in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching that tour of the Palm Beach 85. I hope you enjoyed it. Please give the video a like if you did, and remember to subscribe as well. If you want to see a boat that's in the same group as this, the Grand Banks 85, their flagship, we've got a video of that as well. I'll put that up there. Thanks very much for watching. I'm Jack Haines. This is YachtBuyer.